Okay, everyone. Well, welcome to our in-house AMA with Teahouse and HCC. Could you go ahead and maybe give us a quick intro of your role in Teahouse and maybe just a brief overview of the protocol?
Okay. Hi, everyone. Actually, you can call me Jack. Mainly when I get on board with Tea House, my main objective is just handling the community and some business development side. Other like small startup when we started it, and you need to take on extra role. So I'm just doing more operational side, more the community side. Later on, we were able to got people and we got lots of mod and help out. So I'm kind of like hand over on that side. And about our team, Tea House, we started it as I think the best way to show them the people would know we call ourselves like a aggregator for the liquidity pool. And we mainly focus on Uniswap V3. So that's how we got started it. But now if you go into our Discord server, you will see most of people was talking about, or most of our member in there was talking about our High Table NFT. So one of the reason like one of our community, someone recommended us OtterClam was we kind of see that similarity. So we started in DeFi, but in a way like how OtterClam was, you guys go into this treasury route with like Olympus DAO kind of model. Then later on, it transfer into it. We see lots of similarities. So
Yeah, just the way you're describing it, I'm getting OtterClam vibes from you.
yeah. So when we look into it, we find it's really the thing I see is like sometimes at the time we feels like it's an experiment for us maybe, and the reason why we do it is like it makes sense, right? And but later on if we see more people get on board, maybe it's not exactly the same, but the concept or the logic behind it was sound. Then we really are more and more into like DeFi to evolve and more embrace all this Web3 environment. Like you need to get NFT on board. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, we certainly over here understand the value and the benefits of going such a route.
Yeah. Um. Maybe I will explain a little bit like what is the difference between like our Tea House, more like a Uniswap, a liquidity aggregator, and how we go into create this high table NFT. So a little bit more about on Tea House, what we do is like, if people here already know about Uniswap and how it transfer into V3. So what it does is like when you go into Uniswap V3 come out, they have this concentrated liquidity. So what it does is like you can offer your liquidity at a certain price range. That change brings extra benefit. I would say is like if you can have a more precise price range of a certain pair, and you were able to earn more portion of the swap fee by providing that liquidity. Right? So when we get into it, we see that it quickly, or it's just an opportunity to make more money in a way, like people will see it. But it's really new, and our team or our founder found that it was a good opportunity for us, and we're able to find a machine learning professor in one of the universities in Chicago. I forgot what it was. So he was able to build this model, and the usual traditional world, I would say, and the lack of just having that crypto or blockchains know how to collect all that data, that mass, so all the events on Uniswap and all the liquidity distribution, all that, like they don't know how to do that. So we're able to fill in that gap and feed all those data to that people already know how to build a mathematic prediction model. Right? So when we try that out, and the result was somewhat, favorable for us. So we're able to, I think the result at the time, we're able to compare to the V2 model, which is everybody, you just provide liquidity. So the fee you can earn just spread out for everyone. So the more liquidity you provide, you're able to earn more fee. So for the V3s, if we can actually predict, more close to the actually spot price of the price, our range is narrower. So at the time, we're able to earn 20 times of the fee than if you providing the same liquidity on V2. And that was the back
Interesting.
testing, result. So we got very excited and we get into this. But at the very early time, our founder realized that we couldn't just go out and tell everybody, say, we're the best team. We're able to, coop the best quantum trader, or we can find the best machine learning expert out there, and we build this like bulletproof model. Oh, it doesn't really make sense for one startup, in Taiwan and just do that. Like, so what is our strength? Is actually, well, maybe I will provide a little bit of background story of our team. Is like the founding team that we started very early, I think 2017 or 18, into this space, and it was this ICO stage, and we have this D app stage. So one of the more remarkable is like, I think one of the public D app at the time we built was we won the first prize on one is strong competition. And the other one is like we got picked. I think we are the 7 batches or of a Binance Lab incubator. So at the time, our team was able to build this industry recognized standard of the app at the time. So it's really kind of like a predecessor of all this different application now is running, people call Web3. So we find that's really our core expertise, right? It comes back to what Teahouse, what we really want it become now. Is like right now it will have kind of a 3 sides on this platform. So one side is what I mentioned, like people who already successful or they have this know-how in the traditional finance world that who are able to do quantitative analysis and have this model prediction model built. But however, their lack of all the technical know-how of blockchain. So we kind of want to have this marketplace that we build for to bridge all that traditional knowledge and bring it to all this DeFi goodness now in the blockchain world. That's really what we try to do. So we will be in a spot of building this platform or marketplace that providing all the necessary tool to make that bridge, so make that immersion happen. But before we realize like we just not gonna build that bridge or build this tool, and we kind of jump into a either working with third party. We have some in-house financial analysts to build this strategy, which will be secure in this a smart contract we call T-Vote that escort the investors fund. So in a way that Teahouse, this platform, you'll see people who want to invest and they were able to pick all this strategy that we either come up our own or we work with a third party. So it's kind of like a investment platform that you can just choose from. We kind of want to open up and share that like crowd wisdom or bring all this like traditional worlds like people and coming here. It's kind of like an ETF fund in a way, and we have fund manager if you want to put it in more like Web2 world. Yes.
Just a quick question: Would the strategies then include a collection of Uniswap v3 pairs and price ranges? Like if someone was to invest in one particular strategy, what would that look like?
So right now at our very first version, we'll most likely have one vote that people who try to put money in or to provide liquidity on with a certain pair already show up, um and that pair will be decided by the strategy provider, and it will be back tested and by Teahouse. And maybe right now, like I think it's a good way for me to transfer into High Table. But in the future, we kind of don't want to limit us just doing, smart liquidity on Uniswap V3. So later on, if we open a vote, a T vote, it will be able to incorporate like what you mentioned. Like it could be multi-pair, like say 2, 3 pair, and aggregate it into one strategy. And because some of the pair they can hedge for each other, or and this is lots of people are talking about, because one of the big issue with Uniswap is impermanent loss. So lots of perpetual system was able to use a cover call and to do a little bit of hedge on that one. So it will be a combination of providing only one pair of Uniswap, but I'm incorporated other DeFi and which is able to hedge over that impermanent loss. So the later stage will introduce all that. We kind of want to have that freedom go back to the the strategy or the fund managers community. But again, like at the very beginning, we will need that control. So one thing, like when you guys OtterClam come to us, is we talk about the idea of DAO, right? So for us to see, is like before we're able to enter semi-DAO environment, was we need to have that know-how. We need to have all that function part ready, and we will need to know how to. Our core member will need to know how to do it before we distribute it out, right? So that's why we're doing this all in-house now. But eventually, we would like to distribute all this little function out there. It actually brings me to a little bit about our NFT. We call it Teahouse. Actually, the initial one of the key on a DeFi was TVL and APY, right? So these are the two major metrics we see on a DeFi, and lots of people look at these two metrics and decided, oh, is this a successful DeFi or not, right? So when we go into this space, then we will looking at everyone was like either create a crazy APY, which is in reality it's unsustainable, or it's just using different calculation or using platform token to support this APY. We feel that it's not gonna last. One other thing, like I really like when you guys come over, is like you OtterClam realize this and feels that for you build something genuine, it's like I feel myself like honesty. So if you're able to face this issue upfront, then and as a community, then you can come overcome. Some people will say like, oh, just have like a massive TVL, or just don't care about short term, just have a very attractive APY, then you're gonna be good. One thing when we do the Uniswap V3, we could realize that the amount of APY you can earn, it's not unlimited, because be honest, what it is actually the swap fee that we earn. So it really depends on the activity on people who swap, right?
Sure.
So more people use Uniswap this service, the more fee we're able to earn. One thing that Uniswap switched from V2 to V3 was this: they talk about like the liquidity efficiency. So they don't want everyone just lock all their Ethereum or their token in there and hoping just become a competition, like more the money I lock into it and more fee I can earn. So they kind of want to introduce this V3 idea, was saying like, oh, daily trading value was 300 to 800 million US dollar, right? Daily, this is for example, but it changes. If you think about it, like the money who lock into Uniswap, it just have to be, plus minus 25% of that daily trading value will be enough to sustain this DeFi. So all this extra liquidity locked into it, it doesn't bring anybody's good. So it could be all out there and used to provide liquidity for other DeFi. We kind of want to tell the community that we don't want all your money in a way. So we kind of want to control the TVL to able to have this sweet spot that to reduce most of the wastage. I don't know if lots of people know this, but if you go provide liquidity on Uniswap, is what happens? Uniswap actually issue you an NFT, and as kind of like you guys was like a bond in a way, and you're able to collect your swap fee through that NFT. So we feel like it's only natural for us to using NFT as our membership, so we can able to control the each member who subscribe to one of the vote, or we can control when we have more strategy come out, or when we're able to support more DeFi protocol, then we were able to increase that amount. So that's kind of our initial idea why we want to come out with an NFT.
So the high table then is sort of your ticket into the Teahouse, like the T vaults. Am I getting that right?
Yes, you got it exactly right. But we will say you will get a seat at the table. So
You get a seat at the
yeah,
table. Okay.
yes. Actually, it will represent the whole tea house. But each NFT will able to have a certain limit of subscription, and you can distribute it into two of the strategy or two of the vote, or you can just focus on one. We find all this opportunity outside of Uniswap, so we will have one of our investors actually perpetual protocol. They're building off Uniswap model, and they fork, and they become this like perpetual market on their own. We were able to offer using our strategy to offer liquidity on them too. It will have different protocol, different vault with people to choose on. So that's kind of how our high table NFT in general will become.
Okay.
Yeah.
So can the high table NFT, what can it do beyond playing the role of Teahouse's sort of membership pass?
When we get into this like NFT business, I would say it's like we realize that beyond that, just having a like you guys, like it's just beyond this JPEG, like this just image behind this NFT, right? Then
Sure.
you realize it's actually like most NFT community we reach out is it's really about more like a collective, collection. We kind of want to bring all those collector into a more immersive like Web3 like on-chain experience in a way. At the time, our founder see a lot of NFT project was having like either a hack or the contract was having some, we think it's a basic issue. Not some of the project was having controversy on that part, was unfair, or was like people with inside information, or the team was keeping a good one, so all this like should be able to resolve in a fair and open way. When we talk about like a Web3 experience or blockchain technology, in a way it's about openness, right? And it actually go back to the tea house, like our tradition, like we have all this technical ability, we kind of want to breach that to a traditional world. So later on, this tea house is kind of grow, but for us, it feels like it's naturally bringing us through some of the like community feedback into this entity of we're taking on different projects that we believe in, that who have some already success or we recognize as industry expert. It doesn't mean like if you have already like we see the 3D arts was like bunch of young artists that group together. It's really like amazing, and they were able to do this, and then we take on for the part of helping them to audit their smart contract and hoping to do this we call fair launch, which is really the reveal aspect, and then we use chain link randomness mechanism help them to do a true fair distribution of all the different metadata and the rarity in a simple way to do it. So we see all this and we're able to have some kind of, again, like investment opportunity, or you're able to have the whitelist spot for all this future. So our team, we don't want to hold on to all those forever. So in the future, it will kind of open up all this extra benefit for helping out different project or do partnership collaboration back to the NFT holder. Either they will have a voting right of what future, collaboration we want to go in with, or whenever we finish a collaboration and either wireless or like free mints, we're able to do an airdrop or distribution, like do a raffle giveaway back to the NFT holder. So that's kind of beyond what Teahouse membership. Yeah.
Okay. Cool. You had mentioned earlier that you guys were working towards establishing a DAO. Is that right?
Yes, that would be an ultimate goal. It was a
Okay.
little bit leaked on our a Medium post about our high table. At the very end, we kind of put one of the players or the stakeholder into our overall tokenomic roadmap. Yes, so that will be our um future plan. On our roadmap was we hoping to do this on the end of the year, like Q4. I feel that we still have a way to go before we can figure out what actually are the responsibility or the power to give out. It, we want to be meaningful. We
Hmm.
don't want to be just say, hey, this is all this task, go ahead and pick what you want and do it, and we come back and vote for it. Or we don't want to just be like, just come out with proposal, because if you don't have a good system or good accountability, like, I really like what you guys come up to with is you will go into this chaos. I think because we haven't got there, we haven't experienced, but I can foresee it. It's like you'll see all this chaos if you don't have a good core accountability from the people who are running the DAO. So
Sure. So um, do you see that your future DAO concept? Do you see that being similar to OtterClam, or do you anticipate any sort of differences there?
how we see it is like we have this permanent idea of what function we will need to distribute it now. It's different. It's very different from what you guys. But again, on this is very the function part. We break it up now. It's more focused on T house itself. What metrics we decide and people can vote for it, or what part of on our platform and will need to tweak people can vote for it. But I think it's very entry level, like a very base level of thinking when we creating this DAO. And I'm not sure, like maybe this I will do a question back to you guys when you guys are deciding what proposal need to be voted on. How do you guys did you just know, or is it really true from the community, just people who come, or it's just a process? I remember we talked about this agile, improvement thing. When you guys to form and to become this, say, let's say, for the time when you decide to have the pawn shop, or you decided to have your own marketplace, when that thing, people just come out and vote for it, or
It's really more of a combination of the two, I would say. There's been a lot of organic growth or organic ideas, I guess, that come. We have a section in the Discord just for kicking around potential proposals, and
Mhm.
where someone would come in and they say, hey, what about this idea? And the community members would go back and forth with it, and if it seemed to gain traction, then it would sort of morph into an actual proposal that someone would craft, and then it would be kicked around some more, and then we would finally vote on it. And then there's other things that come straight from the core team. uh but it's I guess it's just sort of a combination of the two, and a lot of the, especially when it comes to the DeFi protocol side. It was voted on to have to implement our buyback system. It was voted on to go from, as you mentioned earlier, go from sort of a crazy APY
Mhm.
idea to make it more sustainable. And these are really big direction shifts
Yeah.
for a DeFi protocol. Um, Whereas the marketplace, I want to say the marketplace came from Otto King himself. I can't remember. I don't believe that was a vote. So, like I said, it's sort of a combination of the two. Um, so yeah, and that's kind of the way it works. on our end. And I mean, I think it's worked pretty well. And so you're the Teahouse concept for a DAO, or at least, I
Yeah.
mean, I know it's very much in the works, right? It's, nothing's
Yes.
concrete.
Yes.
Um, but you
Uh,
think it would be more of a
yeah.
a
And
streamlined version of that.
I think our internal debate was like lots of part was a technical decision or a policy decision. So in a way, like policy will more take you to a shift of direction, how the protocol gonna go, right? So I feel like our design right now is we focus more on technical, small like changes. When the time comes, we don't have a good mechanism right now. Like at least like what our design, but I'm pretty sure like what you share, it's gonna change. Or it could be a hybrid of that later on. So this TDAO's government. So again, of course, it's gonna use our token to vote on. Yeah, this is the part we're looking at. It's a little bit more of different from you guys. It's like we more have this technical side to vote on.
Okay. And you mentioned, you mentioned a native token that you have?
Yes. Most likely we gonna make more announcement on that near the Q4 time.
Okay.
Because I was saying like we still at the very early stage. It's a big thing, right? The tokenomic and it's lots of party. We want to make sure we have a version that we're comfortable with and it's comprehensive enough for us to announce and people are not gonna feels like there's too many uncertainty. So we're
Hmm.
probably gonna wait. And we don't really see a tremendous benefit or a meaningful benefit just like rushed out and say like, oh, this is our token, and we just airdrop it for everyone. It just until we figured out the best way for us to do it, and especially if we need to incorporate this TDAO's idea into it, it just make it. We need to be more careful and to make sure we have a version that we're comfortable and before
Of
we.
course.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, you definitely don't want to rush anything out, in terms of announcements, and then a month later you're like, actually, I think we're probably going to go in this direction. And yeah, no, it makes perfect sense.
One of the part that we decided to have this high table membership passes, we think is interesting or something that we don't really see other project have been done. It's like we kind of separating this into three profession, and that represent all the different risk level that our strategy and or future third party strategy or the NFT holders can provide liquidity on. We spend lots of time to hone our back testing tool and know how, say, which time period was more volatile in the market, and we're able to just go back and kind of stress test all this strategy. Say if we have a certain period in history and repeat that in our future scale again, will this strategy hold? Or will this strategy just collapse? So really, we try to have this more sustainable model. So with all that, we're able to have narrow down into like three graph or three matrix. So we're looking at this like maximum drawdown. So what is the most it can went down and like price volatility. So all that will incorporate into this just simple three level, like high risk, mid risk, and low risk. Depends on what NFT we call profession you can have within the high table, then you were able to get this extra benefit that you are using this NFT to stake this vote.
So is it more of a tier of each, like each NFT grants you an additional tier, or am I misunderstanding?
Mm,
Like an additional tier of strategies, I'm saying.
um, not necessarily a tier, but it's more like a bonus beside the in native APY that provide you can provide. So later on, like anybody who come out, like say when we have our in-house strategy build, I say we have vote number one, vote number two, vote number three, and each well we were given a label of um a risk level. Say and will base off the three main scoring system, if you want to say it. So, for example, the vote number 2 will after back testing, the strategy will perform at certain level and during what time, then we'll give it a score. Let's say we call that mid strategy and mid risk strategy. So what it means is like when it goes to like really bad time in the market, it will probably go down say 30%. But however, when the when the market condition is favorable and stuff, it could go up 50, 30%. The pair that this strategy used on Uniswap could be more niche, or the liquidity on that is it's more concentrated. So the fluctuation will be higher. It's kind of like when you go to the bank, some bank will ask you to do this like personality test or like give a bunch of tests and will say, oh, your risk tolerance is at this level, so we only recommend you to buy a certain mutual fund at 2-star, 3-star risk level. So we will give a score for all this future strategy that will go on to our platform. And with different NFT, you were still able to participate. You were able to subscribe all this different strategy and earn APY. But it's kind of like we told you upfront that some of them during the bad time you will see a certain decrease, but if you're okay with that, because there's a potential gain, right? And with this is the just for fun part, it's like, say if you have a professional that was associated with the middle risk category, and when you use that NFT membership pass to subscribe to that vote, we will give you extra boost of the APY, or some T token reward, and the native APY was getting it from providing the liquidity. Am I making myself clear?
Yeah, no, that makes sense. So what can we expect from Teahouse in the future? Like, what is your sort of short-term roadmap?
We haven't starting the minting yet, and most likely it's gonna happen end of this month or early next month. So for sure, one of the short time is like we will have our High Table NFT release, and we were hoping within a month or two we're able to have the Teahouse platform ready and allowing our member who the High Table holder to invest or to provide their liquidity and start having those strategies start working and having our vote start working, and we will add more. But in the long term, with the level of our carefulness, I'm pretty confident that our in-house strategy will survive. Then the later on is like we open up this gate for all the other strategy provider who are interesting and who will have access to our high tables holders fund in a way. So we will have certain TVO already proven, say this is our holder, we have this extra amount to provide, and we hope that will become another attraction for other third party provider to come and then want to access that TVL, have a piece of it, in a way.
Okay, great. So so you're thinking in the next roughly 30 days, that's when that would or when the ball would begin rolling to the public.
Yeah. What I mentioned is probably the end of this year, and we were hoping to open the platform to all outside strike provider, and I think that's the time when we will. At least myself, I feel we will go out and do some outreach ourselves and maybe some grant, maybe some partnership program. OtterClam running on Polygon, right? So when we're doing this strategy on Uniswap, we actually, you look at our original white paper, we kind of want to focus on this layer 2 thing, because at the time when we start doing that, the gas fee on the mainnet was just crazy, right? So if you think about it, like when we try to provide smart liquidity, it's just you change all that price range and you kind of chase the current price, right? So all that maneuver require gas. And every time we want to take out liquidity and want to enter in the market, you need to do a rebalancing. So again, that's another activity and swap fee. So at the time, that will be approximately 20 to 30% our costs just to do that on mainnet. So it just doesn't make sense. So if you go on to like layer 2, it will cut down that at least 50%, at least. Polygon have this, low cost structure on deploying smart contract. We're able to have, and we call that private vault ideas. Like it really promotes security and stuff because you are not sharing your vote with anyone else. So you have last chance. So when you decide to pull the liquidity or enter the liquidity, it only recognizes your address. So in a way, it's like you have last chance to have different bad character and come here and poke at our smart contract, which is the vote, to see if there's any holes and stuff. In the long-term search, when we go onto the Polygon, it's just something we will get into this private vault idea and working with different native protocol on Polygon.
But you are a native Ethereum
Yes.
protocol. Yeah. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, that would certainly make sense. And you gotta get your get your house straight, and then you can start moving to other ones. So we're let's see, we got 5 minutes left. I just want to ask one final question. Do you think that, I mean, you're you guys are a DeFi protocol with a NFT functionality. We're a DeFi protocol with NFT functionality. Do you anticipate any possible collaborations or synergies with OtterClam? Besides more of just a marketing sort of relationship.
For sure. I at least one part I really like the artwork you guys are bringing. So I think for that part, because we haven't revealed much yet, I think we could do a sense of artwork collaboration. I think that's just like short term really could happening. But what I really mentioned the later on is like we want to move beyond Uniswap or any just like decentralized exchange in a way because we don't want to just limit ourselves in a way. So later on when we are ready to, because it's on a roadmap, we're gonna have Polygon supported and our vote's gonna be Polygon. When that happens, for sure I myself even like I will come and see. But by the time I'm not sure like how OtterClam is gonna evolve into this. For sure we can either have vote that for OtterClam member to use our strategy that you guys they like or to pick on, right? Or the other way is like one of the strategy that using OtterClam's token as a pair or as a hedge way or to support our like more low risk strategy. Definitely. Just right now, what I'm seeing, I can see these two possibility. But again, like a couple months down, like you mentioned very earlier, like when you're in this crypto world, or this Web3 world, is like time. It's kind of different from a traditional, or it's like much faster. So I'm not sure. Like 3 months, 6 months later, like we will probably figure it out.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
Well, I look forward to that time. But our time is up.
Yes.
And so I just want to thank you, Jack, for coming and spending some time with us today. And I will definitely be watching your protocol, and I wish you all the best in your roadmap and all of your future developments.
Thank you for having us. I would definitely, just even myself, I will keep the dialogue open, and when I see opportunity, we'll reach out and we'll do more collaboration or partnership in the future.
Yeah, it seems like our protocols have sort of kindred spirits, similar histories and backgrounds. So yeah, no, definitely interested to see how it all turns out. So again, thank you, Jack, and again, wish you the best.
Same here. Okay, so I'm gonna go. Bye bye.
Take care.
Okay, bye.